Alright, hey, it's Mega here, and this is the next video in the controller install vlogs, okay? So the first one was the intro video, and I just, I showed you all the parts that we got. We got the controller, and, we got the reach-in throttle, QS138 harness, all that stuff. So in this video, we're going to start stripping the bike down, okay? I'm going to, strip the bike down. We're going to take the seat, the plastics off, the tank, everything, and then start removing the controller. Okay, so now this is it. All right, guys. So we're gonna take that bad boy off. All right. All right. Hayes Mega is just going to start stripping the bike down. All right. It's I think I've shot a video of it before. The WR250 comes apart pretty easily. All right. So basically, we got to take the seat off, the side plastics, then the tank plastics, and then the gas tank. All right. So and then. We should have pretty much access to everything. I'll probably take the battery off too. Okay. Okay, I've stripped the bike down. We can marvel at the FarDriver controller, right, and how it's installed in there. So we've got the controller in here. This is the harness for it. I think this is the throttle. Maybe I should just buy a Sauron throttle, man, so I don't have to change this. Well, I bought the connector already. Might as well do it anyway. So here's the controller. All right, well, when we get it out, we can compare the size to the EBMX controller, all right? And then this is the DC converter, okay? So all the wiring's got to come off, okay? We'll disconnect the headlight. I think that's the only thing that's really connected there. The headlight and all this stuff to the switches and all that stuff. Yeah, we're probably going to take this off. We don't need this anymore, okay? Maybe I'll take a picture of everything, so maybe if I want to put it back, I can do it, all right? But yeah, so as you can see, there's not a whole lot of space underneath the seat here. We're going to have to hack away a lot of this airbox. Alright, so probably all of this here might have to come off. This will have to come off, maybe. So there's a lot of stuff to cut. Alright, but we got to take all the stuff off first, okay? Yeah, so what's this? This is the stuff for the DC converter, okay? We've got a couple things going to it. I think this is powering the lights. You see some of the wires going back there. The only power back there is the tail light. Okay, so that's the tail light wiring. We'll just disconnect everything. It's got these kind of bullet kind of connectors. It's interesting. And then yeah, so this is the power for the headlight. Yeah, this is the headlight power and the tail light power. That's it. That's all there is. And then there's some wires over here that go up to this, okay, and then this, the horn button, and then yeah, it's wired to the headlight switch. Right, the headlight switch turns it on and off. There, okay. Yeah, and then I don't know what these wires are for. I guess we can take these off. They're just kind of just here. I can tell this bike was very much in progress type of bike. Okay, all right. So that's that. I shot a video about it, like how everything goes in there. I'll go over it again real quick. Phase wires. All right, that's the orange wires. It's going through the airbox here. So we got two of the wires going through the intake plenum, and then we've got this yellow phase wire that has to go up over that because there's just not enough room because of the way the controller is in there. Okay. If we can not do this and maybe mount it farther back there, maybe we can get all the wires into here, okay? We can still try to use this. So another thing was this metal ring here that's in the intake box. It's cutting the wire. It cut the DC wire. All right. So here you've got the battery connector harness. All right. So that's got to come off too. So we'll take everything off. Okay. I think you've got like a, yeah, there's a positive wire in here. Yeah, see, there's a negative wire and a battery positive here. Okay, and I think that's for the ignition switch right here. Okay, that probably goes to the ignition switch. That's what activates the controller. Okay, and I think this is the throttle connector. Okay. Boy, the wires are totally different, man. Yeah, the wires are totally different. So here you've got the red wire going to an orange wire, the green wire is going to a red wire, and then the black is going to black. All right, so hopefully we can get that figured out. All right, so we're gonna have to disconnect that. This is the hall sensor wire, that's got to come out. All right, this is the Bluetooth dealie for the controller. All right, we'll have to clean up in there too. There's like leaves and spiders and stuff living in this bike. They got this rat's nest of wires coming out of the controller. This controller has a lot of functions that you can do with it. Anti-theft, high brake, low brake, turbo button, that kind of stuff. All right, there's a bunch of stuff that you could do with it. All right, but we're not going to use it, all right, anymore. Okay, so that's pretty much it. It's just got the 3-phase wires going in it, the 2 DC wires for the battery connector, and then the 2 wires, the negative and the positive wire for the for this guy. Okay, the switch. It turns it on and off. And I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do, how to turn the bike on and off. So they give you a switch on the for the QS138 harness. We'll probably use that at first, okay? But I would like to get a key, all right, like this. This is okay. I kind of like it, and it has a voltmeter here and everything. However, I don't like the position of this, especially on a dirt bike. It's not good. I see it flopping around all the time. Yeah, no bueno. Okay, so that's a scoop with that, guys. Okay, anyway, I think I'm gonna stop here for now, and then when I get back from work, we'll start taking the controller and all the wiring off. All right. So, but yeah, this is the phase 1. All right, we've got all the body panels. Okay, all the body panels are here and there, and then the seat's off, and I got the gas tank right over there. Okay. All right, and then the battery's out. All right, I took the battery out so we could work more in there. And so that's pretty much phase 1. All right, phase 2 is we're going to take the controller out and everything. We'll take this DC converter out. This just glued in here. It looks like it. Yeah, I think it is just glued in there, man. All right, see how bulky this is, right? Where we only have like one thing on the controller, so if we can get rid of this, that would be great. All right, but yeah, we could use it. All right. Oh, it's screwed on. It's screwed over here. That's how it goes off. Okay. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a few hours, I guess. All right, but yeah, there it is, stripped down again. All right, Hayes Mega is back from work, and we're gonna go finish taking the bike apart. All right, so at this point I'm gonna kind of slow the video down. All right, everything else has been pretty quick because I've done it so many times and I've filmed it many times already. But so we're gonna take the controller out, and I'm gonna try to note where everything goes. All right, because just in case I want to put this thing back together the way it was before, I can do it. Okay, guys. So that's a scoop. All right, and we may be using some of the stuff that's still on the bike. So I want to note like where everything goes, like where the throttle goes, where stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're gonna start by removing the controller. All right. The control, all the wiring going to the controller, and for that I need, well, bam, screwdriver. All right. A number 2 screwdriver. Yeah. What's this one? A number 3 screwdriver. Okay. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Okay, so there's the motor, there's the 3-phase wire leads coming out, and then the hall sensor connector. All right, so those 3 got to come out. They're right in here, and then this is the hall sensor connector. Let's start with that one. And then so all of this is not being used. All right, there's all sorts of stuff here, guys. Analog speedometer. Analog speedometer. That's interesting, huh? Wonder how that works. CAN, anti-theft signal. All right, all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape these together, or I'm just going to zip tie them together, so I know that we didn't use these. You know, none of these were used. We could pretty much just chop them all off, right? But all of these different connectors have a different function with this controller, right? And I don't have the manual for it, so. Okay, so I'm gonna put a zip tie around this. Okay, that's how we know that we didn't use these. Okay. All right, and then so there's a connector right here that goes through the box. I think this is the throttle cable. All right, that's my guess. Does it say throttle here? It's got a black, red, and orange wire coming from it, and it goes to the main harness. Okay. So let's disconnect that. Oh, actually, let me take a picture of that real quick. Okay, if I can get a kind of wiring diagram. Yeah, if I can get a wiring diagram of this controller, we can figure out. I don't know where you got this 3-pin dealie, but this is the triangular connector, I think. All right, we'll see. Actually, let's take the phase wires out because they kind of take up a lot of space in this little tunnel here. All right, so let's do that. Actually, before we do that, let's turn the bike. Let's turn the bike on. Let me connect this real quick. Again. Okay, before we start unplugging stuff, I'm going to turn the bike on. All right, so the battery's not connected. We want to make sure that all the energy is out of the controller. Okay, so turn it on. Okay, no display went on or anything. All right, no throttle. Okay, so there's no power in the system. We know. Okay, because there's capacitors and stuff, and it can still be powered up. Okay. Okay, well, bam! I got some masking tape and and a marker. Okay, so just in case I need to label anything, all right, I got it ready. All right, so yeah, we'll go disconnect this again. Okay, and then we'll go take the phase connectors out. Okay, take the blue one out first. Okay, I guess I'll take the screws out first, and then I'll put them back and take it out. Okay, Haze Mega's already taken this stuff out already too. Okay, let's take the green wire out. So you can see we can have a lot more room in here if we cut all this. There's plenty of space. We just have to make it. Okay, the yellow is up here. Okay, the phase wires are easy to figure out. They're just colored, so that's the third one. Okay, I'm gonna go pull all the phase wires out. Let's start with the yellow one on top. I don't like that these don't fit very well in the controller too. You have to kind of like really smash them in there. Yeah. Let's take all these wires out first. We'll have to reroute everything. Okay. Go pull. See, they get stuck in there, you have to pull them out first. I guess it's kind of nice, it kind of clamps in there. Pull them out. Alright, there's the green wire. There's the blue wire. Okay, the motor is disconnected. Alright, so now we gotta take the battery leads out. Okay guys, so these are the DC connections right here. You can see this, so you've got this really sharp kind of, I don't know what it is, man. It's like a frame for the airbox or something. Something might clamp to it. I'm not sure. Maybe this is where the air filter. Yeah, that could be where the air filter goes. That looks like where you put the air filter, but it's so small. It looks like they might have cut this or something. Anyway, this is all chewed up here. I don't know why. All right, and then you can see the wire is cut here. All right, because it's been the controller's been hopping up and down, and it got cut on this frame here. Okay, it's really sharp. I think they cut it. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is what it's supposed to really look like. All right, but we will try to take it out because it's metal. It's not part of the plastic unless it's been like welded onto it somehow. All right, they heat it up and they stick it on there when the thing is not when the thing is goopy, right? All right, but anyway, so there's a negative and a positive wire here, so I want to label those, okay? And I think those are the ones that go to the ignition switch, guys. Okay, so this red and the black wire here, they're the ones that you turn them on. All right, you turn the switch on, and then it activates the controller. All right, it turns the bike on. Okay, that's what that is. That's the switch for the bike. So, at least I think it is. Okay, we'll find out when we trace it. So, all right, so I'm gonna take it out. Let's take the negative out first. Okay, and let me figure out where this goes. Okay, it goes up here. Okay, so I'm going to put a controller negative on this. Okay, so I know where it goes. Okay, I put cont, alright, cont for controller, or CNT, however, but controller, alright, negative, alright, and then it goes to this splitter here, okay. I think that goes to the DC converter also. So we gotta take the positive out next. Okay, now we can pull the wire harness out. Right there it is. Oh, I don't even know if we can see it's cut. It's cut in a couple places. See it's cut? Yeah, pretty bad, huh? I guess we could put some electrical tape on it or something. Okay, it's not like cut really bad, but the jacket is cut. Okay, and then there's that positive wire. Alright, it's going to the negative terminal now. Okay, that's this one up here. Okay, so I'm going to label that positive. Alright, and then there's nothing connected to the positive, to the other one here. Alright, this is the this connects to here. Alright, this bullet here. Okay, there it is. I've labeled it controller positive. Alright, and then let's figure out where these go next. Okay, it goes to this connector here. That's where it goes. Alright, so yeah, it goes to this connector. So that's a 80 something volts going to this connector. I guess the negative goes to this one. Because remember, whatever this is connected to, it's connected to the battery. Alright, so this is the battery negative. Okay, and then there's one more that goes to this orange wire. Okay, so the green is positive. Alright, so this is a 84, or full voltage positive. Black is a negative. Right, and then the red is whatever this orange wire is. Not really sure what the red goes to the orange wire. So I think that has to do with switching the controller on, guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go disconnect this now. Okay, probably would be a good idea to put a label on this. Let's get this out of here first. I think we can take the controller out now. Okay, there's the controller. Since most of the connections are out of it now, we can take it out. At least I think so. There it is. Okay, we gotta figure out what other, whoops. Okay, I don't know where that came out. Oh, okay. No. Okay, where did this go? It's out now. Let's see what other stuff is connected here, guys. Oh, okay. So this is the reverse button. Okay, so I'm going to take this out. Okay, So I think the way the reverse works is when this is shorted, guys. Right, when you press the button, it puts it in reverse. All right, so that's what this is. So I'm going to go label that reverse, or just put horn button. All right, this is the horn button. I don't know where he got these connectors too. I'll see. He gave me a pack of like connectors and stuff if I wanted to clean the harness up, you know. Okay, so this is reverse or horn. I'll put horn in reverse. So that's what that's what he was using. He was using the horn button as a reverse button. Okay. Okay, and I know that. So I know that goes to this here. Okay. Okay, so this just says speed, something speed. It's been like messed up or something. So we got to figure out what this is. All right, guys. Let's get this horn out of the way. I think this might be the throttle. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Let me go trace this. Okay, I figured out what it is. So it's the selector switch. All right, so this is like an extension cord, is what it is. All right, so it goes here. All right, so we're not going to need this. I'm just going to take that off. So he made little extensions. All right, so everything connects to the front here, and then it goes to wherever. All right, I kind of like that. I think that's a good idea. So I just kind of learned a new little trick here. All right, but this is the horn button. Let's keep that there for now. We're not going to need the speed selector switch, okay? But yeah. Let me write down what that is here. Okay, I'm going to put a speed select. Okay, I think that says speed select. Okay, but this is the extension cord for the speed selector. All right, I'm probably going to take that out. All right, we don't need it, and Hades Mega is planning to install some kind of light switches and stuff on there. Okay, so let's take that out. Okay, so this is what they did. They have that as like an extension cord, sorta. All right, so that comes out, and then that allows us to take this out. Okay, and it's intertwined with the freaking horn button. Right, so there's this, and then this connects to the selector switch. Okay, so I don't think we're going to need this, so I'm going to go just take this out. Okay, now I'm wondering which one is the throttle. We'll get there eventually, alright? Okay, so that's the selector switch right there, okay? At least I think it is. Let me double check. That is the selector switch. Okay, yeah. So it goes here. So there's that. Okay, so I learned a little trick. All right, guys. So you don't have to cut the wire and extend it or anything. You can add a connector on the other end. However, I don't know where to get these connectors, guys. All right, but there's that. All right, I'm pretty sure that's gonna leave the bike. All right, the selector switch. Okay, what is left here, guys? Okay, there's this. Alright, this here, I think this might be our throttle. Let's follow it. Okay, there's another one right here. Okay, what's this? Okay, so this was connected to that connector that we disconnected. All right, that connects to the battery positive and minus. Okay, and where does this go? I think this goes to the on switch. Okay, yeah. So this connects to this. Okay, guys. So if I remember correctly, the negative goes to the battery negative, and then the positive is the green. The positive is the green, yeah, and then the red is what is it? The red goes to the controller. All right, so this, okay, yeah. So that's that's negative or the ground. All right, guys. The green is the positive, So these are the inputs, all right, and then this is the output. Okay, so the way this works, guys, is so when you get the key, all right, you flip the key, it energizes this, okay, and it tells the controller, hey, turn on, okay. So when it sees a signal from this, it turns on, all right, and I guess it works on like a 84 volts, okay. So once this sees voltage, the bike will turn on, okay. And I guess it activates the voltmeter too, because it has a little voltmeter right here. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me write just in case down. I want to use this in the future, you know. Okay, FYI. All right. So the red wire, all right here, the red one, goes to the orange wire. Okay. So I guess that orange wire is the switch for the controller. All right. So when this is energized, it turns the controller on. Okay. So I'm just gonna write the red wire goes to the orange wire. Okay. All right. Okay, and I think it's the last connector, guys. The last connector has to be the throttle, guys. All right. So I'm going to, yeah, there it is. So it says throttle. Okay. So that's very important. We're going to be reusing. We might be reusing this. Hayes Mega might just buy a surround throttle, man. I don't know, because it already have the connector on it. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess we should try to figure out what these wires are. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that if you look at the I don't know, if I could find a manual for the FarDriver, it'll tell you what all these are. Okay. I know one of them is for a 5 volts, one of them is maybe like a neutral or something, and one of them is for a ground, okay? And so this is the connector that we need to transform to a triangle connector, okay, guys? Actually, I still have a surround throttle, but I cut the wire off of it, so that's why. Yeah, so we've got... I'm just going to write down... thing. I'm going to take a picture of it and I'll write down stuff. Okay, I'm going to go disconnect the throttle now. Okay. Basically, I just wrote down what the wires go to. Okay, so I'm going to have to look this up in the FarDriver manual, wherever it is, and then I have to see what this green goes to, what the red goes to. So the black goes to black, so we just got to figure out what the green and the other ones go to. Okay. It's a nice waterproof connector, very good, very nice. Okay, let's see if we can get this out. I think we can take the controller out now. Okay, oh, nope, there's still one. There's still a ground connection. Okay, I'm just going to disconnect this. Okay, and boom, that should be it. Alright, so that's it. So we didn't use this. Alright guys, yeah, let me put this... Okay, yeah, this controller definitely is hefty, that's for sure, man. Okay, so this is the one that goes to the negative terminal. Okay, I guess I can put that back in there. Alright, so this is the orange wire. So you would connect this orange to orange. This is the... So yeah, let's go over the connections one more time, alright? While we're taking this stuff apart. So this is the trigger, all right, guys. It's the ignition switch, okay? So when this energizes, it turns the controller on, okay? And then this goes to the battery negative. This goes to the battery positive, all right? And then that just connects to. Okay, yeah. So this goes to the switch, all right? This connector goes to the switch right here. Okay, so this is what's responsible for turning the controller on, okay? And it powers up the gauge and all that stuff. Okay, this is the Bluetooth device, alright? There it is. It says upgrade port, and it's connected to this guy here. It says FarDriver. This is not connected. Oh, this is the reverse, okay? This was connected to the reverse, the horn button, okay? This is connected to the throttle, okay? Okay, there's This is connected to the speed sensor, the speed switch. All right, that's a speed switch. What this is, I don't know, guys. It's a loopback plug is what it is. Where does that go? That's a good question. I don't think I took that out, man. Okay, but anyway, yeah, this is the speed sensor. I wonder where he got the connectors for this. That's a good question. I should ask him, like, hey, where'd you get the connectors for the FarDriver controller? This is the Hall sensor, all right, and then this is all the connectors we didn't use, okay? So there's an anti-theft. There's a purple wire that goes analog speedometer. Okay, there's a brown and yellow wire, and then a red and yellow wire. I think these ones go together. Maybe. This says CAN on it. Okay, so this has some kind of interface. There's an anti-theft one. There's two anti-theft. There's an anti-theft signal and anti-theft power. Okay, so it's got some kind of alarm or like, yeah, anti-theft feature. Okay, where like it'll stop the bike or something. Cruise gear. Okay, I don't really know what that is. High brake. Okay, this might have something to do with the regen. Okay, maybe it uses the brake switch. There's a low brake, so maybe it's a two-step thingy. And the speed pulse 1. Okay, I don't know which one the turbo button is supposed to be connected to, guys. Alright, but that's it. Alright, so I've kind of deciphered what goes in there, alright, guys? And then I will go put the screws back in the terminals. Okay, and then I guess I'll connect the positive and the negative there. Okay, so I now I know where everything goes. Okay, guys, that's the anatomy. This is the brains of it all. All right, guys, that's the brains of it. It's pretty cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty rad controller. It's not as good as the EBMX, but you know, for like $200 something, it's not bad. All right, and you can do a lot with it. Okay, I just don't. It's not very user friendly. So let's say okay. Okay, so let's go take a look at the remaining wires. All right, so yeah. So this was the horn. All right, the horn button, the reverse button. All right, this is a switch. Okay, that's a switch. So that's this. All right, and then the horn button is right here. Okay. And then you got the throttle. I believe it's this one. No, this is not the throttle. This is the speed selector switch right here. Okay, I think the throttle is right here. Okay, I haven't taken the throttle out yet, and I can't take it out because it's like, I think they put the air box on, and then they trapped it in here. So I can't get. Oh wait, maybe I can get it out right here. There we go. All right, there we go. That's the throttle. I haven't labeled it or anything, but I don't know what's what on this throttle, so we got to figure that out. Okay, so the rest is just the 12-volt stuff. Okay, guys. So this is the DC-DC converter, guys. I think it gets the 12-volt power from here. I think this is connected to the 84. Right? This is 84 volts in. Right? And this is 12 volts out, basically. Okay. And then so it powers. How does it work, man? There has to be a way to switch it on. I think this might be connected. I don't know. How does it turn on? That's a good question. How do you know? How do you turn this thing on and off? It's got to turn on and off when the bike turns on and off, right? I'm not 100% sure how it works, guys. But I think this goes to the 84 volts, and this becomes your 12 volts. Okay, so I guess the yellow is a 12 volts, and the black is your black wire. All right, and then it splits off here. All right, so this is the tail light. All right, so somehow this gets 84 volts power. How it gets it? I think it gets it from. There must be a switched 84 volts power source. That's my guess. There has to be some kind of switch for this, guys, because it has to. You can't be on all the time, or else it'll just drain the battery, right? So, yeah, maybe something takes the ground away or something. Alright, so if I was to plug this into the battery right now, it'll turn the lights on, I think. Basically, that's the only thing this is running, the lights. So you've got a set of pair of wires going to the tail light, okay? There should be a brake light, but there isn't, okay? He didn't wire one. And then there's one going to the this thing here. Okay, this is the horn button, I think. Yeah. So this is the horn. Okay, so that's this thing here, okay? It goes this, I think this is connected to the headlight. All right. This is the on-off for the headlight, and then this is the horn. Okay, that's the only thing he's using here. All right, this is connected to the headlight via this connector right here. One of these connectors around here. Man, this shit. Oh, this one is this one right here. This one that's hiding. Okay, this is the headlight switch and the horn button. Okay, that's why he's got the horn thing going off of it. What's this then? Okay, and then he's got some other spaghetti here, and this stuff was, so this was getting pinched. All right, that's a no-go right there, man. Okay, so that got pinched by the fork, and I think one of these was coming out. I think this was coming out. So these connections are not very good, guys. It's you don't want to use these bullet connectors, man. Especially someplace where the wires are going to move a whole lot, guys, because it could just rip them out, you know, or vibration will take it out. Okay, yeah. So that's that. Where does this go? This has to be the headlight. Yep. Okay, so this is the headlight right here. Okay, guys. So I'm guessing there's a black wire, 12 volt black, and then there's a running light, and then there's a high beam and a low beam. So which one is which? This is a good question. There's only 3 wires coming off of this. He only wired the high beam, I think. Yeah, one of them is missing. So the red wire is missing. So I think one of these is the running light. All right, I'll have to figure it out. One of these is the running light, and I have the connector, so I can just I can splice it off of this. Okay, so when we do the headlight, that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Actually, I have this. Yeah, I have this. All right, the Tusk switch. I was planning to install this, but I think I'm just gonna return it because I bought another one. I bought a used one, but this one has like 6 wires. It's a 6-pin connector, so I don't know where it plugs into though. All right. Anyway, we'll figure it out. But this is the output for the headlight, so it's a good thing. We might need to change the connector. I'm not sure. There's this green and red wire that's just been going nowhere. All right, where does that go? Okay, that goes to here. Okay, yeah. So there's a green and red wire. I don't know what these do, guys. All right, but it was supposed to go to this thing, I guess. I guess maybe that's the turn signals. Maybe, I don't know. He was gonna do something with it, but I don't know. All right, but yeah, we're gonna have to try to clean up the front of this bike, but it's got stuff everywhere. But this is where all the 12 volts power comes from. All right, you got 12 volts coming to the front, 12 volts going to the rear for the tail lights. All right, and then that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's take this out. So I'm gonna go label all these, and then so with the EBMX controller, all we have to do is provide 12 volts power. All right, so this is built in. I don't need this. I don't need to connect it to anything. It's already built into the controller. All I have to do is connect the, I hope this is right. Yeah, connect this to the 12 volts and the 12 volts plus and 12 volts minus. So this will power all of this already. All right, it's already connected and everything. So maybe I might want to leave that, but I kind of, like I said, I kind of don't like these bullet connectors, man, especially the ones in the front. I might get rid of all the ones on the front. The rear is fine, I think, because not a lot of stuff is moving in the back, okay? So I'm going to go label all of this, and I'll take the DC converter out, okay, because we don't need that. We won't need that anymore. Maybe we might need it, all right? I'm not going to throw it quite yet, all right? Maybe I might not get that 12-volt thingy working, all right? So there's a can sticker in here that fell off, all right? I don't think we're going to need that. There's a bunch of leaves and stuff, and I think there was a spider living in here at some point. Okay, we probably should take the air box out. Yeah, we'll probably take the air box out and we'll clean it. And I got to take this metal thing out. All right, I think this is the intake, where the intake filter is. Okay, the air filter. So, and then we'll get rid of this thing. We don't need that. All right, and then we'll hack it up, man. What can I say? Yeah, man, there's a lot of space in here. It's just, and the controller could be exposed to the environment. Also, the good thing is you've got those plastic covers, the side covers, that'll cover it also, okay? So, I mean, there's plenty of stuff to protect the controller, right? We wanna leave the controller out in the open as much as possible. Look in the Sauron, man. The controller is right in front of everything, okay, guys? So, it's fine, all right? It can. It's even, this back here is even more protected than up there, okay? But up there is, you're going to get airflow to it, all right? So it will cool down. All right, he left this much of the air box here. We'll see what we'll do with it, all right? I wish I had a fresh one, but fresh air box. So I think that's it for tonight. All right, everything is out, and then we just got to figure out how we're going to install it. Okay, that'll be the next video, guys. All right. So the last thing Hades Mega is going to do, I'm just going to label these connections. Okay, I'll label all the rest of the connectors, and then we'll take them off when we're done. All right. We're probably not going to use this. All right, and we're not going to use this because I bought the Tusk switch. All right, the Tusk switch has a high beam, a low beam. That's why it has more wires, guys, right? It has a high beam, a low beam, and I think it has an on-off too. Yeah, there's an off, low beam, and a high beam, okay? And then there's your turn signal, okay? And then there's a horn, okay? And I don't have the horn, man. There's no horn on this bike. Maybe we can add one. Be nice to have a horn when you're racing, guys. Hazel Mike always forgets to use it, though. Yeah. So we're not going to need the reverse button anymore, all right? And this is going to be our light switch, and it's going to have a low beam and a high beam, all right? I don't know what we're going to do with the running light. I'd like to be able to just turn them all off or turn them all on, but Haze Mega will try to make it legit, okay, guys? Like the low beam will be the low beam and the high beam will be the high beam. I think we're just gonna have I'm gonna have the running light on all the time, I think. I guess it doesn't eat up a whole lot of power, and then yeah, there'll be an off, low beam and a high beam. All right, that'll be good. Okay, and then yeah, so that's it. Okay, last thing to take out, guys, is the DC-DC converter. All right, so there it is. It's a pretty beefy one. I wonder what the output on this guy is. But anyway, so this is the 12-volt output. All right, this yellow and black wire, and then the tail lights are connected to one, and then all the other stuff at the front of the bike is connected to the other one. Okay, via bullet connectors. Okay, I don't know where to get these bullet connectors. I'm going to see if I can find some. They look kind of nice. You don't have to do the old solder, you know, and you can connect it however you want. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. All right, so that's that. All right, so that's the 84 in, 12 volts out. This is the tail light here. I think I labeled it. Yeah, I labeled it tail. Okay, tail. Okay, and I just put 12 volts on this one here. Okay, this is all the 12 volt stuff going to the front of the bike. Okay, so we'll just leave that right there, and then let's go take this guy off. I think it's just held on by a screw here. Okay, also if you guys are wondering, I think this is the battery box. This is where the 12 volt battery used to hide, so it's kind of cool that it wound up being a 12 volt power source. Oh, and it just fell out. Okay, hopefully I didn't break it. Alright, there it is. It's full DC-DC converter. Alright, its input, it'll take anywhere 30 to 120 volts, and it'll output it to 12 volts. Okay, guys? What? Oh, 10 amps. Okay, there you go. Max is 10 amps. Alright, that's as much as this thing will do. So, it's not a lot of power. Okay, guys? But it's a decent amount of power. It's enough to run the electronics on the bike. Okay, so that's that. And it looks like there used to be another screw here, but it fell off or something. Okay, so, alright, and so with that, we're done pretty much disassembling the bike, alright? We've taken off, in this video we took off all the plastics, the gas tank and all that good stuff. and then we took the controller out. All right, and we took the controller out, and I labeled all the connections and stuff. All right, it's not too much. It's not as crazy as I thought it was. All right, it's kind of all over the place. That's what I'm gonna say. My forks are leaking. Yep. And yeah, so so in the next video we're gonna do some brainstorming. All right, HazeMeg is going to install the controller onto the bike. Yeah, from what I saw, it's installed pretty good. All right, the question is how are we gonna mount the controller? Are we just gonna let it sit in there like the previous guy did? I kind of don't want to do that. I want to make some kind of brackets for it. All right, but it doesn't have too many mounting options, is what I'm gonna say. Okay, but it looks like we're going to have to hack up the airbox more than it is right now, okay? Yeah, there's just not enough space in there, and we need to get as much space in there as we can, all right? And then, but we also need to mount it nicely, okay? All right. We want to keep the airbox because the mud flap is attached to it, all right? And it acts as like a fender liner, okay? So it keeps all the dirt and all that stuff from the spray that gets on from the tire. It keeps it off of the it keeps it off of the shock, and two, it's going to keep it off of the controller. All right, or in the case it was before, it was an airbox and a battery holder. Okay, is what it was. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there it is. We're halfway there. All we got to do is install the controller now. Okay, guys, and we got to figure out what components we still need and we don't need. Okay. It looks like we're going to have to rewire the throttle, okay? But I don't think that's a big deal, all right? We may need to make some wires longer or shorter, okay? So the harness I got for this bike, all right, the QS138 harness, is like a universal harness, okay, guys? So, okay, so in the next video, that's what's up, all right? We're going to do the engineering part, all right, guys? the building part, all right? So in the first video, I showed you the stuff we're going to install. And then in this video, we took everything apart. And then in the next video, we're going to engineer it and put it back on the bike, all right? And then hopefully get it running, all right? So hopefully 1 or 2 videos, this thing will be running, okay? How good it'll be running, I'm not sure. I do not have an ignition switch, okay? I'm thinking of maybe using a Sauron ignition switch, all right? I saw they cut the ignition... the bolts that goes to the ignition switch off the bike, okay? And I don't know where the ignition switch is, okay? Well, I guess this bike was built from many other WR250s from what the guy told me, all right? So, yeah, so we got to find out what components we need. So I'm still going to have to figure out the ignition switch. For now, it's just going to be a button, all right? The kit comes with a button to switch the controller on and off, okay? It looks like we can still use the throttle, but I have to rewire the connector, and then the light we're not going to use. So we're going to take the light, the speed select, pretty much everything. Okay, everything is coming off of the bike actually. Okay, and the voltmeter and the switch thing are going to come out. I kind of would like to keep the voltmeter. All right, guys, I'm not going to lie. I kind of like that. I don't know. What I might wind up doing is installing a Drock battery meter. All right, I like the Drock battery meter. But we'll see how good the little display is. Oh, we got to install the display too, all right? We got to install the EBMX TFT display, okay? It'll be sweet. I just don't know how to mount it, all right? It was designed to be mounted on the center of the handlebars, but I don't want to put them there, okay, guys? That's where it might get damaged, all right? I'm trying to keep it from getting damaged because it's a freaking $180 display, okay? Yeah, it should be sweet, man. Okay, yeah, so in the next video, we start putting it all together. All right, see you then.